Ultramarines live longer with Calfgon.
And Dave.
Oh my god. I'll quit.
And hello and welcome to the Chatter Vox Podcast with me, Callum.
Me, James.
Me, Dave.
And how's it going? So we're going to start this off straight away. So we've had a hypothetical question. We've been discussing this before the podcast, so how to say this. It's a hypothetical.
It was a theoretical.
Theoretical, hypothetical? No?
I said hypothetical. Dave was more...
Hypothetical.
I was quoting a book.
Someone said something and we're going to talk about it anyway. So here it is when I get it up. So one of our listeners has said, so the old ones uplifted the Eldar, gave them super psychic. They then created the orcs to fight, who were even more super psychic, though they don't understand it. Then the old ones went away. This was the war in heaven. As some maybe astute listeners of the lore might know. So you cut to the Tyranids showing up, who have anti-psychic and seem to be created to destroy all life and cleanse the universe. Hashtag the old ones are the hive mind and they control the Tyranids. They're basically pressing the restart button on the universe. Discuss. Are the old ones the Tyranids?
I don't even know what the old ones is, so I am.
Good start.
Yeah,
So I need to
Good conversation. Next topic.
Anyway, so thank you for joining us.
Are these the old ones that the neck ones went to go, help us, and they
James,
left them?
James, you probably explain this. So yeah, for our listeners, explain in elevator pitch what the old ones are when it comes to the Warhammer universe.
So the old ones were essentially one of the first, if not the first, living beings that were around after the universe was started. As far as I understand it, they pretty much enjoyed life. They loved life. They felt it was all valuable.
There's not a great deal known about them, is there?
No,
It's just speculation
and there's a reason for that. They essentially left, and we'll get into that shortly. But essentially, what they did is they started, creating life, and there was all love and peace out there. And then eventually they ran into the Necrons, which had kind of like evolved naturally.
The Necron
tier, yes, you are correct,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
And these were kind of living on like a horrible, radioactive, disgusting world, which basically meant that everyone just died of cancer at like 30 years old. They were quite sour that the old ones had all this power and this immortality tech. And of course, at this time, the warp wasn't a dangerous place, so they were very warp. They understood the warp from like a really...
I think it suggested they made the webway.
Yeah, so
they could traverse the warp with no issue. And I think the warp also was not really that enraged.
No, it wasn't dangerous at the time.
It was just
just another
entity of the universe.
Yeah. Or a dimension, I suppose. And essentially, because it was, they had psychic powers basically based on the warp, and there was no, nefarious, demonic entities in the warp that basically they could, enter that fairly safely. So obviously that progressed them quite quickly. And of course, at this point, they then developed, the webway, which basically allowed them to move like vast distances and basically created like an empire that was like undisputable.
It's a very long elevator ride, by the way. Going to the bowels of hell in this one.
Yeah, so essentially they ran into the Necron tier. The Necron tier were, quite salty.
That they had all this power.
They were quite salty.
And they were struggling.
And they didn't help them. But also at this time, the Catan were around, or the Cetan, however you want to say that.
God, yeah, from last episode. Catan.
And basically, what they decided to do was join up with the Catan because they were really salty, these Necron tier. And they basically started a war called the War in Heaven.
Or at least it turned into the War in Heaven anyway. So
which basically required the old ones to then create the Eldar and the it wasn't the orcs, it was the
Crooks, something like that. Yeah,
it was basically a kind of a god mode orc, like 20 foot. Not quite 20 foot, but
imagine
really,
like
really big.
More than a Primarch.
Primarch-sized
Primarch-sized, powerful. Orc on roids, which I imagine they're already on roids, and also highly cyclically attuned.
Crooks, yeah.
Crooks, was it Crooks?
I think it was Crooks.
We'll
Anyways,
get back to you on that one.
So basically, they created these two races. The first one being Eldar. Actually, they created another race, which was the Slann. Now, the Slann don't, as far as we understand, exist anymore, but they do still exist in the old world.
I think they also created the Jakero.
Yes. They created
I think it
Jakero.
suggested they created humanity.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a direct result of this imminent threat.
It's more of a tangent, this one. But, yeah.
So basically, this war in heaven then basically led to them creating these warlike races. Now, they then eventually had like a horrible, horrible time because obviously Catan then tricked the Necrontyr into like giving their souls to them. And they, long story short, they basically started this gigantic war between two, couple of nasty like Catan gods, an entire army of like salty, radioactive, soulless,
angry, dying, soulless machines.
Warriors with amazing technology, who basically pretty much destroyed the old ones. So they ran off, but only just winning the war in heaven, which then meant that the Eldar could pretty much take over.
Yeah. The Necrons went underground. By the way, there's way more to it than this, but essentially the Necrons went underground. They had to hide away, for a kind of an infinite amount of time until obviously they were rebirthed. And then it left the Krorks and the Eldar and the other races that the old ones had brought about to expand. Yeah, the Eldar expanding exponentially quicker than the other races did.
Well, they were allowed to have the webway and all the old technology. So of course, if you gave humans that technology, we would have probably been the more advanced ones.
I think it's suggested as well that the Eldar gods are actually the old ones.
No.
No.
They had their own pantheon at that time.
Yeah. We'll go into that at some other point. This is the basis. The basic history is that the old ones created
everything pretty much,
to fight the Necrons. So what's Pat suggesting is that a millennia later, the Tyranids have showed up and they're anti-psychic, anti-everything. Is this the old ones coming back in?
It'd be cool if it was.
I mean, it would be very cool.
That makes the Tyranids a sort of good guys.
I mean, it's
maybe, to reset the whole universe back into order, maybe.
Well, it makes sense because if you think about, they basically reactively made warlike races to counteract the threat that they were under. Which they didn't want to do. They only did that because they were under threat.
Yes.
So
it's very reactive.
Yeah. So this warlike race, these warlike races, then created the psychic imprints in the warp, which then led to the Chaos Gods being born. Now, the warp before this wasn't actually an issue. It was just the fact that like they had these warlike races now in the universe. So essentially, if you sent in like something that wiped everything out, they're not feeding into the demonic realm, you could reset the warp as well.
This is like an ongoing theme as well, isn't it? Through the whole all of Warhammer lore as well, is that like without humanity and or even the Eldar or really anything, the warp chaos really wouldn't exist because it is feeding off the emotions of everything that lives within the kind of the space in which that kind of occupies, especially humanity. That creates so much of the warp is kind of attributed to their behavior, albeit not Slaanesh maybe because that's more Eldar behavior. So perhaps maybe the old ones are like, man, we need to calm this real maelstromic. This maelstrom of
as well. That can adapt to whatever it comes into. It adapts.
Yes, exactly.
Like
it's very adaptable. It's actually
getting rid of a virus.
Yeah. It's also doesn't. Another thing about the Tyranids as well, they're not free thinking.
No,
they don't have the ability to even break away and go. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to like make a sex cult over here. Just feed into Slaanesh, or I'm just all I want is blood, or I really like farting. And we're going to make a whole thing about that. So,
and they're also very anti-warp as well. Wherever they go, the shadow
of the warp, of course. Yeah, causing anti-warp. Wow, the more we talk about this, actually,
I mean, it definitely could be a thing. However, I know from like doing a little bit of homework prior to the episode that
who set you that?
whenever psychers have actually got themselves into the warp, they've basically found that it's actually a kind of like hungry organism, which doesn't really like relate with the thesis of or the way that the old ones actually are in terms of their personalities. They're more like peace and love, and they respect all life. So they're basically, when they first encountered the Necrontyrs, they basically battered them because they were like, "Oh, we hate you," and they started a war against them. They were just like, no.
Well, the Necrontyr were not prepared at all,
but they kept them alive because they respected life. Whereas like this is a whole organism that just wipes life. So I mean, you could understand that they were quite angry and sour about it, but at the end of the day, they're probably. I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it?
I think we may go into a lore episode about the War in Heaven, because I've always found that a really interesting bit of lore, because it essentially is the start of Warhammer.
Everything, yeah.
It really is. Maybe not so much the old world or fantasy, but certainly the sci-fi side of Warhammer is very, very much the start of Warhammer. So I've always found it really interesting. It might be really worth, because you've been saying things now that I didn't even know. I actually thought it was much more simple than that.
Oh no, yeah, and you kind of like was like, oh no, yeah, this was not an elevator pitch.
Did this happen?
I could go into more detail, but yeah, no, it's definitely a possibility. There's definitely a possibility that they've been sent to reset, and it would make sense from that perspective, but I don't know.
I think it's also, I think it's widely established that the Tyranids could potentially be the end of Warhammer 40k. If they were to end it as they did with Warhammer Fantasy Battle, when we've got the end times, called the end times.
If they wanted to,
they wanted to, I mean, like if that was going that way, I really hope not. Really hope not, because obviously, when Warhammer Fantasy Battle ended, it wasn't very well received. I don't know much about it, but I feel like if they, is it there for? Are the Nids there for many plot points? Are they potentially the old one's hive mind? Is it potentially the end of Warhammer into an wall? Because really, at the moment, we can't really see a way of getting rid of the Nids, because they are kind of constantly affronting every single race, aren't they? It's almost uniting races in a way as well, because it's just so much of a threat. Leviathan campaign 10th edition is very much based on the Nids just being an absolute menace. They brought in a new tendrils, come from a different side. They weren't expected it. They've been completely, they've been hit broadside heavily. It does seem like it's the end, and it's hard for me to think. Not saying it is the end, but it's hard to see right now how is the current races of the Warhammer 40k universe, how are they going to fight this back? It's going to take something really big. Surely it's got to be something real.
Yeah, well, at the moment it's gone to Project Nexus now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one thing that I don't like about the lore, is that it kind of jumps around quite a lot, and they kind of like get this really good storyline going, and they're just like, we forget about that.
I think Leviathan's like basically one little area of space. While Project Nexuses are going on with the pylons, is it?
And you've got the whole the Zigatrix Maledictum, and like the whole warp space is like teared into reality, and the Imperium split in half, and
you got the Black Crusades.
Then they're like, forget about that. We'll just go to Tyranid invasion. You're like, well, we're already under strife.
You've got to look at it like it is the universe. So I suppose it's probably massive. Well, I say probably it is massive beyond comprehension. So I imagine some parts of the universe probably don't even know Tyranids exist. Yeah, and there's battles going on.
Like, before,
yeah, go on.
Do all it. Races know that Tyranids exist.
You know they exist, even though the biggest threat to the entire universe. Some guy sat there with a rake, just going, "Wow, what a lovely day it is here."
A shooting star.
I think a really plausible, though, very very plausible outcome for the series would be that it is an old one.
I mean, it's very possible, isn't it?
Very, very.
They're very anti-warp. They're anti-psyker. They're they're very. It would basically just be a hard reset on the universe, and then they can start again anyway. Start seeding their own lives. There is also another theory that there are no old ones now.
Because didn't some of them escape?
I think
a real small number.
That was the idea, but I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not. But the one that they know of basically died when Slaanesh was born, and basically split into shards, which now I can't remember what they're called, but they basically just like float around and cause like major issues.
40k loves their shards.
Yeah, they love
sharding a lot, don't they? Yeah, I think
sharding all over the place.
I think some Satan got sharded as well, didn't they?
They're all shards.
All of them are all shards, of course. Yeah.
The Avatar is a shard.
Yes. Oh, he's a shard as well.
He's a shard, yeah.
Okay,
40k is just a load of shard.
just sharding everywhere. No, really cool theory though. I am quite excited to see where Leviathan goes, but then I've also heard people say as well that it doesn't need to go anywhere, and that Warhammer is just a giant open-ended lore universe that doesn't need an end.
Yeah.
And it's just many, 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 many stories within a greater capsule of things.
I don't think it'd be in their best interest to progress the story.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, they've got so many things going on, and we're in like the 41st millennium, but a couple of 100 years in, and they can do a couple of 100 years, and you're still not really getting anywhere with the whole like galactic battle. So, you know, you're still progressing this. You're still able to progress the story without like too much happening. I mean, you probably want the occasional big thing, but it's not in their interest to necessarily.
Or they could just end it all and then just have Warhammer 40k
50,000.
Age of the Sigilite. Warhammer 50,000.
Hammer of War.
Hammer of War.
Year
Speaking of
zero.
Tyranids, have you seen the original Tyranids warrior model?
I've seen a lot of original Tyranid models.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't name them, but they are incredible.
It is.
I love them.
Have you seen it?
Awful.
They just look
Yeah,
so.
I know I will have seen it, but
I'm gonna find
You're
it
gonna
for
find
you.
a picture. They just look so like.
so
It's like somebody had an idea of a really good creature, but they only had like a lump of soft metal to work with, and they just went right. I know what I want, but then they go, here it is. What do you think of this? And it's just it is fantastic.
see, I love the new Tyranids, and I love the way that they look now. I definitely don't like the old models. The ones I've seen before, just
Like
like
the Screamer Killer, the big.
yeah, I hate it.
Four.
And I don't even like the new one. I think the new one's bad because it's based on the old one.
I quite like the new one. I don't know. But then again, I'm a bit of a fan.
I mean, it's all subjective.
Yeah,
We're talking about plastic models here, but like, you know, it's stuff that.
There's your
Oh
model.
my goodness!
Oh yeah, the guy with the fat head. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got his two swords, that's well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you haven't seen them, Google them.
But you can see, you can see the inspiration, and they've gone for this real kind of like bipedal alien-esque. And I imagine
Bug.
back when it was made, which was 70s, 80s, 90s, like a lot of the movies at the time, like Alien, things like that, there were these big walking monsters with these kind of like very grotesque style heads, and you can see that's what they've tried to do.
Yeah.
But they've had a lump of hot metal to work with, and it's just not gone that way at
But they've
all.
looked at that and gone, look at that. That is just like the
Look at
Xenos.
that. Man, that looks incredible. Nothing's ever going to get better than this. Surely.
My words, put it down now.
Do you guys ever remember like playing like Nintendo 64 and being like, no way, graphics can get better than this?
Super Mario looks like he's
This
there.
is like this is the realest thing
I
I've ever seen in
am
my
Super
entire life.
Mario.
And then like PlayStation 2 came in, like, whoa, no
Yeah,
way is it
every
gonna get
single
better than
time,
this. And it's just been doing that like perpetually forever
Lara Croft.
until like we got to like our 30s and went, wow, things are not getting better. We've hit the peak, boys. We've hit the peak. You've heard it here first. PlayStation 2, peak of humanity. So
we-
go ahead.
So we have a bit of a funny story to tell.
Oh,
And,
I'm
Well,
You kind of have heard it from like a couple of different points, but our listeners haven't. Now, me and Dave arranged to have a game the other day.
bear in mind, we haven't agreed to sell this story. This has been brought up.
so me and you are currently both.
I know what it is.
Okay.
It's not one of my finest moments.
Okay. Go ahead. Did you soil yourself, David?
I came close. Just say that.
Do you want me to tell it? I think it might be funnier if you
I'll
do.
get PTSD if I tell it. So
Sorry.
sorry to tell it.
It's not even funny. It's actually really horrible. So we basically we arranged a game.
Okay.
Dave turns up, and our normal sort of tradition is to buy like pizza. You know, we take it in turns. One of us buys pizza.
Right. So this is okay. Carry on.
Yeah,
It
it
was
goes
slightly
downhill.
mentioned during
You
one of our conversations on the chat. Yeah,
And
okay.
so I'm like, oh yeah, there's a deal on at this shop. Should we try and go for the deal? We put the deal in.
The local shop didn't do it, so I changed. It was set to my local, changed to his local.
Okay.
The deal wasn't on, so we put the order in again. Didn't realise it not took off the original order.
So there's a ding dong at the door, I'm like, oh yeah,
Ding
I'll just
dong
go
at
grab
the
it.
door. Okay, nice, nice alliteration there. Yeah, always helps the story.
So we walk out, and the guy gives me like a pizza. Like, oh yeah, cheers, man, cheers. He's like, give me another pizza, and then he goes to get me a third pizza. I'm like,
This might be one too many pizzas, sir.
All I heard from the other room was, Dave, I think you got a problem.
Help! There's too many pizzas.
Which I thought at the time, oh no pizza.
Oh, yeah. How wrong you were.
How wrong I was.
So essentially, we come in with I come in with 4 pizzas, and we also happened to get the deal that actually came with 2 pizzas and 2 sides.
Yeah.
So we've now got 4 pizzas and 2 sides.
You got the deal, not an offer. Put that out, right?
So you've ordered
the same thing
the same
twice.
order from 2 different places.
No, the
right.
same place. The
Oh.
same place, but it's carried the order across.
Oh, right.
You didn't get rid of the original order
yeah.
from this.
Okay.
So basically, we come in. So one's applied the deal, but the other one hasn't. No, this is a brand name pizza place. So
Basically,
it is
£80
not. It's
short.
not cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You was £80 short.
£80
yeah.
short, and got thoroughly destroyed in the game after one turn.
So,
That's how my night went.
So it completely threw me because I came in feeling
oh,
super.
no, okay, I'm dead. Do you want some pizza?
He didn't even use the pizza to lube up. He
Oh,
just went
no,
for
just
me.
went straight in.
Went straight in.
Got a hairdryer on it. Just went in.
It did completely throw me as well, so it might have even been
threw you.
worse.
Oh, God, dude. I mean, I hate being ripped off, but you ripped yourself off
I know,
almost.
on the outside, I laughed about it. On the inside,
Yeah.
I was crying.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How was the game, though? Oh, no, of course you
No,
lost.
thanks.
James, how was your game against him? Good.
I didn't enjoy it at all.
No.
No.
What about the pizza? Was it any good?
I mean, yeah, my family enjoyed the pizza. For the
Oh,
next couple
you
of
took
days.
some home. Oh, that makes sense.
Dave was very kind.
It's like when you go to a birthday
Very
party
kind,
and
yeah.
there's like too much cake and you end up taking it all home. But this time it was a pizza party for 2 people and both of you were sad.
Yeah, no, we had a nice conversation afterwards. That
Yeah, it was
about
good.
it.
It hurt.
Who's playing who? Sorry, what armies were you playing? Sorry?
Templars, Black Templars,
Black Templars versus
Sisters.
Sisters.
James's sisters.
Always
just-
sisters at the moment.
Just
It just reminds me why I don't like Space Marines. Because they're just a bit boring.
that. Yeah,
Well, to be fair,
they're
my
easy
list
to play.
my
but-
list was pretty nasty. It was like
Well, of course it was. I mean, was you expecting you to say anything else? Oh, I just brought some real fluffy ling. I don't know.
we might save that to the next episode.
Yes, the next
Actually, we
episode
haven't
we'll
even
talk about this.
discussed our new.
We'll bring this up now, actually.
Format.
So just letting our listeners know that we've got a slightly new format coming out. So we're going to have more regular episodes, albeit they're going to be slightly shorter episodes. So we're going for around about an hour an episode, so easier to digest. A decision was made because we have so much we want to talk about, loads of content, and we want to kind of bring that across to you guys in the most kind of easily accessible way possible. So we'll get onto this later. Obviously, we've got the pledges. So the pledges are going to be announced now at the end of every month. So we'll talk about you guys' pledges at the end of every month, and then you'll have another month to pledge your new models going forward. So every 4 weeks, we'll do pledge chat. In between that, the episodes after that are going to be more strategic. They're going to be more game-based. They're going to be more about tabletop play, more about rules, more about codexes, and that's where we're going to go from there. So keep listening, stay tuned. Obviously, subscribe to us, like us, follow us on all our social medias. We're going to put a link in the episode here. Don't smash the like button because it's the only one we got. So yeah, keep following us, and that's it. That's the only format, and just let us know how you think that's going to be. So today's episode is going to be mostly about the pledges, and it's going to be more about fluff and more about the lore, more of a kind of light-hearted thing. So, and then the next episode is going to be more gamified. So just letting you guys know what's happening. So moving on, James, what we got?
So I haven't seen anything of this. I want to have a look at it, but it's the new Fallout you want to discuss.
Oh yes, so the Amazon Fallout series. So I feel like now we're entering the age of games in film and TV. So I feel like the age of it was a superhero, really, wasn't it? We've had so many superhero films come out in the past 10 years. Marvel, DC, the MCU. People keep bringing it up. I've never really been a massive fan. I liked Christian Bale's Batman. Christopher Nolan, I should say. It wasn't really Chris. He was the actor, but the director, Chris. Like that. After that, I was okay. You know, it was all right. It all seemed all right. But I really do feel like we're entering the new age now of gaming. So we had The Witcher, we got Fallout, we had Last of Us. Last of Us, really, really good. But the source game was so good. The story, if you ever play The Last of Us, don't worry about the gameplay. It's actually okay. But the story, really out of this world. So anyway, I've had that.
That works so well because they stuck to the games.
Really stuck to the and this is what I think. So just a little preamble, like the war in heaven. In recent times, obviously Henry Cavill Cavill, I think he said his name was Henry Cavill.
I've just called him Cavill.
Sorry, Henry. I know you're a listener.
Stan,
Cavill, Cole.
Press the like button.
So obviously he was part of The Witcher. He's a big nerd. He's like king nerd. So he collects Warhammer. He plays Witcher games. He left the show allegedly because he did not like the fact that the writers were not respecting the source material, which has led him to go on to team up with Amazon and Games Workshops to make hopefully a true to life Warhammer, either film or series. They haven't really come to a decision yet, have they? However, Amazon have now brought out Fallout. I'm not going to give any spoilers, don't worry. You know, if you still yet to watch it, I've still got one episode left to watch myself, and I've got to say it's great.
I never expected the world to be nuked. Oh, spoiler.
Shit, the world's been nuked. Oh god, yeah. You might find that out quite quickly. But it's nice. I've watched it. As I said, I won't go into it too much, but they've really respected the source material. It looks very gamey, but they've somehow managed to finally get a gamey looking thing to actually work with a story as well on screen. And the characters are, quite lovable, and it's very comical as Fallout is. It's quite comical, but at the same time it's quite grimdark, you might say. But anyway, as I was watching it and I saw like the power armor on screen, I saw some of the creatures, it's a bit CGI at the moment, there's still rough edges, but it does give me hope. It really does give me hope, hopefully, for this Amazon Warhammer crossover. And I'm hoping
they announced Amazon was teaming up with Cavill for it.
Yeah.
That's why out of all the companies to team up with, Amazon was one I wanted them to go for, because the boys.
The boys is fantastic. Yeah. And the boy, I think the same studio who did the boys have done Fallout. And
it helps in some way.
You kind of see that crossover a lot as well. Yeah.
I think Amazon do give them the freedom to go. Just do it.
And hopefully with Henry Cavill being kind of like the guy, we're going to go to you to like talk about it. Hopefully he. I actually don't know how much he knows about it. He might not know anything. I don't know. He might just paint models, and he might be like, "I'm an actor.
That's
paint Warhammer." We don't know. Should we get him on? I'll call him. Tomorrow.
Cavill, you've got an official invite now.
An invite, yeah.
But
I am a bit busy, so you have to wait with me for a second. Is that right?
Might have to hang on a few episodes.
I've got some things I need to do. But no, it gives me hope. And one of my biggest fears for the series coming out was like, how are we going to get across on screen some of the more ridiculousness of the Warhammer universe? I mean, power armor, as cool as it is quite ridiculous on screen. Big hulking tanks walking. But after seeing the power armor in Fallout, it works quite well. What about the CGI then? So how much is CGI? Because obviously, if you're, they've done a bit of a combo. So like, when the power armor's still, it's prop, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
When it moves, it's CGI.
Yeah,
because it does look a little bit more cartoony.
The guy's in the suit.
What's that, sorry?
There's behind the scenes pictures, and he's in the suit.
Yeah, there is a suit.
Yeah.
But I think when they're animating it to move, I think it's more of a CGI kind of thing.
And also, I'd imagine like if there's like 10 of them.
There is actually a scene where, I mean, this is in the trailer, but there's a scene where there's 5 of them walking, and you can tell it's a bit gamey.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've built the world to look a bit gamey. So it's almost like they've gone, okay, that looks super gamey.
Yeah.
That looks really out there. So the world around it, let's just make that slightly out there. And then it's not as jarring on the eye. And so I'm hoping with the Warhammer series that they kind of like, they do kind of push it towards the slightly out there look.
So, quick fire question. Cavill's going to play a character. Who's going to play?
Who, sorry?
If Cavill's going to play a character.
Eisenhorn.
I thought it was been like almost confirmed.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to go down the Eisenhorn.
I think that's already,
I really do.
I think that was the rumours, wasn't it?
Yeah. Don't announce anything yet. It's
No, nothing's.
rumoured, but
I think it's more
everyone's
speculation.
speculating, yeah.
I think it's more speculation.
Apparently
I thought it was more than that.
There's rumours that they're making an animated series to come out
It's
soon.
like a oh,
as
so
an
okay.
introduction to each race.
I actually forgot about that. So and again, so Fallout, they brought out the series, but they went straight into it. However, you can watch optionally. You can watch little lore bits that gives you an overview of the universe.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So they've gone. It's almost like they've gone right. Let's not just bore everyone to death with like let's set every little bit up because Fallout universe is pretty deep in a way.
If you want to know the details, here it is.
Yeah, here's so Jess, my partner Jess, she's watching. She loves Fallout and she wants to know a bit more. Then she went, oh, they've got little lore videos, and she just watched lore videos. And she's like, okay, now I know what a bottle cap is.
Oh, that's really helpful. Yeah.
Like now I know why they take this drug every day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that built her world in her own time.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that Warhammer does the same. It's like, okay, let's be honest, because they're not going to be able to get the whole world out there.
Most people
it's
aren't,
so
yeah.
hard.
The rumour that I've read
you know.
and heard was it's going to be a few years away yet from even having a live action sort of one.
Oh yeah, it may be. Yeah.
Apparently coming soon is animated little episodes on each race, so you just get to know.
Yeah,
Which
so
race is which.
I really agree with. So
Yeah.
like, let's say you're watching the series and then you come across like I don't know, let's just arbitrarily you come across like the Necron in the series, and it doesn't really explain. They're just in battle, and then someone goes, "Oh man, they're quite cool." Oh, there's a little like 10-minute video on Necron there.
So they're fighting Terminator.
Yeah. What? Why is it T-1000 and
aliens in
what? Hang on, they just ripped off every other sci-fi series from the 80s, surely. Starting the like Reddit starts like popping up with angry kids. But I can't remember my original point now. But I've got some hope. I'm hoping they're going to approach it in the right way. We're talking about. I think it will be Eisenhorn.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I think it makes
so much sense. It will follow one guy, which is easy to follow, whereas some books tend to, we talked about this earlier, some books tend to follow lots of characters at the same time, which can be very confusing. One guy, Eisenhorn, who's a big, muscly, dark-haired guy, Henry Cavill. Come on. He goes from planet to planet. You meet most of the citizens of the Imperium. You come across some of the Xenos races. Also in the books as well, that there's one Space Marine at one point. There's a black
that would be helpful, and that'd be easier for like
that's what
production, wouldn't it? As
production, like I'm saying about Fallout, there's one guy in power armor, which I think is good, rather than having like 100 of them. Like you've got this one suit, and that becomes a lot more poignant and a lot stronger to see visually on screen. Just having that one piece. Imagine having like one Space Marine. It's like wow, he's
especially
like a
so many
god.
chapters.
He's
That's
a god. Yeah, you know. You had 100 Space Marines on screen. We're like, oh well, it's just an army.
Yeah, and
Well, it's
also
an army
like the
of people, isn't
CGI
it?
costs
So-
would just be like through the roof.
And it will also look a bit
It
silly.
would look terrible.
Yeah, look a bit silly.
Imagine
so-
like say our partner's going like, oh, so that's a Space Marine, no, that's a Terminator. Okay.
That's a Terminator.
So what-
that's an Inceptor.
That's a librarian.
Yeah.
That's a captain.
They're gonna be like,
Yeah, that's an
I don't
ultramarine.
know.
That's
They all look the
yeah.
same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
they
to
do
me,
all look the same. Yeah,
It's just some big guy.
and that one's slightly bigger than the other ones. That makes him a heavy intercessor.
He's just a
like-
guy who's got a boner for his dad.
That one's got a sword, so it's an assault one.
Boner for his dad. And his dad's dead. Kind of. I don't know. But no, but the Eisenhorn, the Eisenhorn series doesn't even really touch upon that. It's more about life in the Imperium, which I think that'll suit him much better. Sorry, I probably.
In terms of like
made it
media,
for-
have you ever seen? I've asked James this. Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
Unfortunately, as a kid.
I've been told this is good actually.
So I was talking.
Was it you that was saying it?
Apparently,
What,
that's,
you mean the move from the 90s?
Yes, yeah. Apparently,
Oh god.
people say it's a prequel to Chaos.
Really?
This is what happens, and the director apparently is a big 40k fan.
Oh yeah.
Recent
yeah.
inspiration.
okay.
So if you watch it, people do link it.
Have you
saying-
seen it? Have you had a look?
No, not yet. I
Ah.
want to.
I've watched it as I think I was
They
8.
start seeing stuff on the ship, don't they?
Yeah. Well, essentially, hell enters the ship
Yeah. They reckon.
through their drive core. And isn't their drive? Oh god, someone's
know. I've not
gonna
seen
have a
it.
go about this. I think
Actually-
they've got like a core that helps the ship travel, and I think the core takes energy from things that they don't quite understand. I think the idea is that it brings in hell, and then hell enters
So
the
people
ship,
link
and
that
they
to
start to
Chaos.
chaos
Yeah, I mean,
and warp, and so.
I mean, anyone who's familiar with like any sort of films from like 90s onwards would probably understand 40k quite well because
Yeah.
you've got like Starship Troopers, you've got Terminator, You've got obviously this one that you were on about.
Especially at the moment, that's all Dune
Yeah.
is new, and that's the playing games which I've always said like Dune was a
Yeah.
one they looked
Big.
at for inspiration.
Yeah.
You've got Lord of the Rings for the orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a
well,
lot-
Nids are Starship Troopers,
That's what I mean,
Necron
yeah.
are
Yeah,
Terminators.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's all... And it gets... Not to go on that, but it gets on my nerves when people get annoyed about that. They're like, oh, they just rob from everyone else. Like, well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Everyone
every,
does.
It was
every single person out there is robbed from what, Tolkien?
But Warhammer wasn't... It was never serious.
There was
it was
no
a,
hype.
It was a parody of a lot of stuff that was happening at the time. Do you know what I
And
mean,
it works because
Yeah.
the first time I tried Tyranids, it's because they look like Alien.
look like Alien.
That's
yeah.
what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Necrons
a
look like Terminator.
mental
so we've got
swarm.
them, yeah. It
Yeah.
came in 3rd edition, Necron, which was like early 2000s, which was about Terminator in the 90s. So yeah, not long after. And then people went, oh, look at that. That looks like the T-1000.
Everybody wants a Terminator
Yeah, of
army.
course they did. You know
Why
what
would
I
you
mean?
not want one?
There wasn't very many miniature companies around at the time. They went, oh, here's something that looks like that. We can't copy it, but here it looks like it. People went, yeah, it's great. But
You got a bit-
obviously, maybe Games Workshops are a little bit of a... They've got a curse of their own success. They've become so good, people are like, how come they're not their own thing?
Yeah.
Well, the thing
maybe.
is,
I mean,
we've always taken inspiration from good ideas, haven't we?
of
Like,
course.
you see a good idea, you're like, oh, I'll adapt that slightly.
If I can
But that's
see...
the reason why it's so good.
If I can see so far, it's only because I stand on the shoulder of giants. It's the-
Is it imitations
Here you go.
the
Take that home with you.
some of imitations the
Yeah, ultimate flattery or something.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, some
rubbish like that.
We're going all, going all philosophical here. but-
Philosophical.
Anyway, shooting big
But
guns and lasers.
that's my viewpoint on the Warhammer Amazon crossover.
Right, so we have 10 minutes to talk about any sort of news updates.
Yes, so we've had the points updates come out.
Yep.
It's Dave shaking his head in case you're not watching the video, and this is because of
Thank you, Games Workshop, for dropping the points of a few of the AdMech again.
oh god, AdMech. Oh yeah, I've read this online. People are saying that AdMech are now turning into a horde army
Yeah,
because it's so cheap.
not
to
only
run.
are they already expensive to buy anyway for an army, they
Yeah.
now have made them a bit more expensive
Yeah,
because now points are dropped on some of them.
yeah. I think AdMech are having a really, really rough time. at the
Granted,
moment.
Games Workshop said we
Yeah.
understand, we know that we're play testing at the moment. And the
Yeah.
big changes are coming for AdMech. Like, you could have released some sort of changes just now, just to tie it over.
Yeah.
But
It makes me sad though because AdMech is such a cool looking army.
they look so cool.
They're a really cool looking army.
Look
so
at them.
yeah, look at them. They're right there behind his head.
Belisarius.
Yeah, Belisarius. Crawl, I think you said earlier.
Cool.
Call.
Cool. C-A-W-L, is it? Belisarius cool, is it? I'm going off the
Cool.
book.
It's cool, yeah.
I'll just quickly say my piece because I'm currently playing Death Guard, trying to get nothing.
Good point.
Oh,
Yeah, so Death Guard have got nothing going on. They had a Hellbrute drop, and a Hellbrute's not. It's more of a vanilla Chaos Space Marine unit. So nothing. But I do feel like Death Guard are in a good place.
yeah, they do
They're in
seem
a
like
very,
good
very
play.
good place.
Same
So-
as Thousand Suns.
Yeah, I'm not crying about it. I'm happy. It's fine. You know, we're very mid-table when it comes to competitive rankings, 50% ish. I don't need more than that.
I think
I'm
the
happy
tower
to
was a
keep
bit of a
working with
weird
them.
decision
What's in the tower?
that they're not releasing the points update till the Codex is released in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But
that's
then-
an odd. That is
Yeah, I mean,
odd.
everyone
But I
knows
think
what the
no,
book
but I
is.
think that I don't know because remember what happened last time? Whose Codex came out just before the points update and it blammed them. Oh, I can't remember now.
But I think that
Somebody had a Codex release and it was just after a points update and it kind of nullified the Codex a little bit, I think. So maybe they're waiting for the Codex to get it, you know, get the tracks moving before they could decide.
Yeah,
you know,
but no,
where to-
I don't know though, because they've just done it with Custodes, and Custodes just dropped. They haven't even dropped yet.
Okay.
They've already dropped the points on them.
Oh, really? Okay. Then maybe, I don't know. Very weird
it's just a
decision.
weird
Very weird
decision.
decision. Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows the Codex has been out in this box.
I mean, it's technically out. It's not been officially released, but it's technically out. People
yes,
can get
everyone
hold of
knows what
it.
it is.
So you might. So it's not like you haven't got the, you know, what these items are and what what we're looking to be units wise.
Yeah,
You've still got, so you haven't got the points, but you've got the Codex,
and you can't
and
say
the
it's
Codex is
like-
coming out soon. Then they're gonna have to drop a second points release. It's kind of a bit funny.
It's not like they're going, oh, we need to wait 2 weeks to see more data on how the current lineup's playing.
Yeah, because they haven't got any
Yeah.
stats from that because the new some people are using the new Codex, some people are using the old Codex.
It's a bit weird.
It's a bit of a mishmash. I still think
They
we're
shouldn't
in,
have released it to begin with.
I
To
don't
be
think there's
fair,
much changes.
I still think we're in early days of 10th, and I still think there's a lot of stuff to work out.
The good thing I was promising about the points releases, they have gone back to the old format now. I think it's the same way you usually do points, then an actual
Yeah, I think this has been like the sort of way that they've done it for a while now is that they do 3 months points, and then they do 3 more months, and it's a points and rules.
So obviously, since 10's been released recently, every points update's come with a balance update as well. So now it looks like they're happy with where 10th is. That I think that's go back to the old vote system now. I think
sometimes they throw in like super, like dodgy changes where, you know, say for example it's like an Eldar or it's I don't know, someone's doing like some crazy stuff that does need tweaking a little bit, but it's not like everybody's rule.
It seems like they're happy with 10th how it isn't at least that they're not
it seems
changing every 3 months.
I didn't really see this base experience, but like I said, I'm leaving behind. I know that Eliminators got dropped. But I think people are using Eliminators quite a bit.
They got points increase.
No, that's what I'm sorry. I said it the other way around. They got increased,
but no one uses them. Everyone uses scouts, and
I don't know. I think I've heard they're quite competitive. Eliminators can be, because they've got precision.
They look
so
cool.
They can take. You know, they do look very cool. Anyway, I know you've got quite a fair bit to say on this, James, because James has been looking into the points, obviously, because you've got the tourney coming up. You want to see what the points are.
So I mean, the main one that I'm concerned about really was the obviously the sisters, the Adeptus. So I mean, not massive changes. And to be fair, the stuff that we're taking to our tournament isn't really changing that much. I think stuff went down that's in my list and stuff went up that's in my list. So basically, I think it increased by like 10 points. But essentially, the Arco-Flagellants went up to 160 points, which I think was like a 10-point increase from where they were for 10 models, and then 50 points for 3, which is, I think, a 5-point increase for 3 models. Now, personally, I would say that was probably a bit harsh. I probably wouldn't be taking them now, but I know the pro sort of sisters players out there are taking them still. And I did hear a comment the other day from the Sister Act, which is another podcast out there, which is quite good.
Check those guys out.
Yeah, check them out. Yeah. They're really good, especially if you play sisters. So they basically had a guest on who essentially said that if they were 180 points, they'd still take them. Three squads of them.
So strong that like. Okay, we'll take the hit.
Still take them.
I want to take them anyway.
I think that shows that they probably should have had an increase then.
Oh yeah.
Take them then.
I mean, they are good, but then I mean, personally, you're starting to come up to the points of I don't know what a Terminator's 200 points. Is a Terminator equivalent? I don't feel like it is.
What the job is, though, doesn't it? Like
nothing. They just sit there and take damage. But they don't. I don't know. It's a tricky one.
There's got to be a reason why people are playing.
Yeah, people are taking them. They're obviously winning games.
They're working.
So they want to move.
They've got a use.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I'm a little bit sad about is the Crusaders. The Crusaders went up 10 points. Now they were previously 25 points for 2, which was exceptionally cheap, and why they were so good to take. Right, now they're 35 points, which is quite a fair bit more, and considering other stuff is now 55 points, they've dropped the mortifiers and the penitent engines to 55 points. Personally, I'm probably considering taking them instead. I've got an actual useful unit rather than just chaff that's running around. Death Court Assassins, I didn't care anyway, they've gone up. Demifuge, so hero, gone down slightly. Triumph has gone up by 15 points, and that was a decent unit. Probably is still worth taking. It's a good solid unit. And then you've got the Sacrosancts. The Celestian Sacrosancts have gone down slightly, which are good because I'm taking them in a tournament. I'm not sure why they've gone down because I felt they were really good. But I think people probably weren't using them. And
I think this happens as well, is that I think sometimes when things aren't being taken and people are just like, oh, they're naff. It's the Hellbrute for Death Guard and CSM and Thousand Suns and whatever. It's dropped because everyone's just like, well, it's crap. I don't want it. So they go, you know what, let's drop it. Let's see if people start bringing it, and then maybe later on down the line they'll probably buff it a bit. Like, take
they make it
when people learn how good they are.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it's very true. The Eldar have had some changes, but I haven't been playing them, so I don't want to comment really because I'm just going to be talking hypothetical and it doesn't.
I think notable as well that we should bring up is that Necrons have had an absolute kick-in.
I don't know. I mean, I think they've definitely gone up.
Yeah.
And they needed to go up.
You think they're going to lose a squad at least in a 2,000-point game?
Yeah, I mean that's probably enough to make the difference. Just to briefly cap on it whilst I'm sort of searching through. So demons, obviously I play demons and Drukhari. They haven't had any changes whatsoever. But yeah, no, Necrons, their Catan I think have gone up by about 50 points, which if you take in Hyperphase, you're looking at like 3 a game, which is like 150 points, which is probably a whole squad.
The Hyperphase is so strong, and I think I've played a game recently, 2 Catan, in there, it's hard to deal with. Obviously, it's had a points increase because of that, maybe, because they are super strong.
Yeah, they're insane. They were definitely underpointed. It's the question of, are they still underpointed? But I think even 50 points is still, a significant amount more. But that kind of shows how broken they were. Because if you're like 50 points per model and you've taken 3 of them, that's, as I say, a whole squad. Personally, just because I've fought Necrons recently, they also went up. The Immortals went up slightly, and Immortals are really good. I think they've got like sustain 2, the toughness 5, armor save 3. Then they've got like you can give them like a hero that gives them like feel no pain. Then they've got reanimation. They've got 2 wounds of pop. Their weapons are like strength 5, AP 1. I think it's just absolutely horrendous. You can't kill them.
How many points are they for squad?
Well, they were 140, I think, and now they're 150. They've gone up 10 points, which just sounds bat shit to me.
Admit these days, I probably have 5 squads for that points cost now. So, the way they're going.
I think another notable decrease in points as well, I think CSM have had quite a few units decrease, including Terminators as well. They've gone down. So
yeah, I think the last update was maybe a bit harsh. It basically gave them, a points drop, points increase and rules changes, and the stuff that they dropped. Well, the stuff that changed was the main stuff that was making them win, so it was just a bit difficult for them to
it's a bit
continue winning.
A bit like the old, remember Custodes got really hit hard when they changed lethal.
That rule,
devastating wounds, because they're no longer mortal wounds, it pretty much just shut off Custodes' army rule, which was brutal. Which I think they've had that change now to mortal wounds and devastating wounds. I think they can do against, which has brought that back.
Tyranids, you got a slight increase to gargoyles, which were very very highly sought after, and then pretty much everything else dropped. So you got Barbargorns dropping, Hive Guard dropping, the Lictors dropping, Psychophage, the Swarm Lord, Warriors with bio and melee and ranged weapons, and then the Tyrant Guard. Oh, and Zonothropes. And Zonothropes are wicked.
Yeah,
they're just like amazing. So
nice looking model as well.
Probably a good thing really for the Tyranids. So we might be seeing some more with them. But yeah, that's me from my armies.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of points across the board. As I said, some armies have obviously done well, done very well, and it seems that the ones who've done well, they've had like big points decreases. The ones who haven't come out very well, they've had big points increases. So lots of units across the board have had points.
Someone's got a few drops, didn't they? In the last data slate, they had no drops.
No,
so they've had a few Terminators gone down, so that's quite cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it was probably a good balance day.
Yeah,
I think they're better than they've
seems
had.
to be a lot of positive feedback.
It's like I said, I can only really speak for because I'm trying to play Death Guard, not to say competitively, trying to build a bit more of a meta around it. Having nothing was fine. I think that was okay because
it felt right.
If you're in the middle, you're in the middle. What's the point in changing it? Do you know what I mean? So.
And you got to remember that, like, every time there is a decrease in your army or an increase in your army, and a decrease in someone else's army or an increase in someone else's army, that adds up together. So, if you drop 10 points and I add 10 points, that's a 20-point difference between when we fight each other. So it's almost like a double nerf or a double buff. So it should hopefully make that gap a little bit closer. But
I remember it's quite funny because I think Death Guard had they had a point increase and decrease at the same time last update, but it made no difference because
it was the squads that you were taking.
They correct me if I'm wrong. I think they increase the Lord of Virulence, but drop the Plague Burst Crawlers, but they increase something else.
Take them together.
But you normally take them all together anyway. I think it all worked out in a 2,000 point battle. It saved you 20 points.
Yeah, the system. So the system did a similar thing with Morgan Vile and the Penitent Engines, where they basically had I think it worked out to a 10-point decrease overall, but. If you took a second squad of Penitent Engines, that's where it would cause an issue.
You start causing problems.
So, it was quite good.
But no, I don't. Nice balance.
The chaos point drop seems to be across the board. Don't everyone got?
That's what I'm trying to say. So it's not even an up and down thing. It's like this army gets that army gets that.
How about
we'll see from.
How about Emperor's Children?
I think we're going to discuss that
next episode.
Next episode.
Next
Like
episode,
yeah, a little Warhammer community update. What about but we'll get back to that next episode. I think right now we've got getting there. So
just a few. So we can talk pledges.
Let's finish on pledges. I think that's important. So you guys have really done again. You've outdone yourselves in a way. You've done some really, really good paint jobs. So Dave, you've been keeping tabs of the pledges, haven't you? So do you want to tell us first who has failed the pledge? I actually don't want you to say.
I will when it loads up.
Yeah.
Let's just keep talking.
So as I said, really nice paint jobs coming again. It makes me very happy that you guys are jumping in on the pledges. And in fact, while you're getting that up, I'll say it now. Any new listeners to the podcast right now, and you haven't listened to us before, I hope you're liking it. And if you do, please like and please subscribe. Let your friends know. But also, every month now, we're going to be doing a pledge challenge. And the pledge challenge, essentially, is that you promise to paint or build or do anything hobby-wise with one of your models or multiple models, as you'll see as we're going to come on. And you promise to do that before the next episode. You post pictures to us, and we'll have a little review, check out your progress, and then when we've done that, we'll do the new pledge. So if you do have any pledges and you are just listening, you want to do new things, please join us. Go into the description, look for the link, join us on our Facebook page. You'll find us at Chatter Vox Podcast, and join our group, and then we can have a big discussion about that. So anyway, so what we got, Dave?
So I'm just going off the
I've got some pictures here, so go ahead. Is this people who have failed?
Yes, sorry.
Read it out as a list.
Between us three, we have all swap teams.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Callum, did you pass or did you fail?
I failed my pledge.
Yes,
I really did try and give it a go.
No, you did not.
Unfortunately, I failed my pledge.
Don't say that. You failed.
Yeah, I failed.
Don't give all that spiel. I
I'm
tried.
sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
Raspberry a shame.
I'm going to give it at the end when you give it
at the end. We're doing one.
Give everyone. Yeah, everyone gets
James,
one.
did you?
A mass raspberry of shame.
Yeah, mass raspberry.
I failed.
Oh, James.
But that was no one surprised.
I mean, you did paint a lot, but you still failed. So
just to call this out quickly, you had a real big pledge, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I went mental on my pledge.
And you painted a lot, but don't tarnish the fact you failed. So
yeah, I mean, you still failed.
You try harder.
I had one model, and now we're in the same boat. Go ahead.
So Aaron.
So this is Aaron. So he decided to paint some GSC.
Yeah. Is it a Neophyte hybrid and a Goliath truck?
A Goliath truck, is it? Yeah. Aaron, fantastic paint job, looking really good. Your picture taking's really good as well. That grey on grey, looking really industrial. Your paint jobs are coming across really nice now. Much more improved.
I really like this model.
Really
nice.
Yeah.
Actually, a couple of models, but
you've done so well.
It was nice seeing the way that you'd progressed through that as well.
Yeah.
At the start, I said I was going by the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
He's not updated the spreadsheet, so.
Aaron,
Are we being nice?
You've not done your pledge.
Sorry, Aaron. No, okay, I think we should be nice because he really did.
Only for this episode. Okay, in the future, everybody. Otherwise, you're going to get a smacked bottom
and a raspberry, possibly on the bottom.
And if you want a smack bottom, please come to this address. Okay, who else?
Other show.
We got Charlie.
Charlie, I'm trying to find his picture very quickly.
He has updated the spreadsheet.
Charlie, come on, guys, the spreadsheet.
He's done it.
Oh, you did it?
He did it, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Charlie, I had to go at you. I spent a good 10 minutes on that spreadsheet.
So he's done the corpse grinder cult?
And it's not 40k, is it? It's Necromunda, is it? Yeah. Charlie, looking fantastic. Really demonic. Really liking the colours on the helmets. Very bone-like. Base is looking fantastic as well. Very industrial yet again. And your flesh looking nice.
Ooh, yeah, the bases were good.
Some blood as well on this. Yeah, I like blood on swords when it's done right, and you've done it right here, I think. Yeah, so well done, Charlie. Aaron and Charlie, well done.
We got Rich, 2 Stormdrake guards. I think he said he didn't do the pledge, but he had painted something else. That wasn't the pledge.
No, I think he did. I think he did it last time.
But he's not updated the spreadsheet, so.
No, he hasn't. He didn't. I don't think he's actually posted it either.
No, I think he posted. No. I think he did it really early on.
He posted his Nerf gun.
Yes, that was it.
He's been working. So you've been working on a Nerf gun, which I really appreciate because I bloody love Nerf guns. I do have one myself.
I bloody love Nerf guns.
What was it? Love Nerf guns. Yeah.
What was it? A storm.
2 Stormdrake guard.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that was the stretch goal from the previous one. That you posted it really early.
Oh well, it was up here,
so
it's failed. So.
Excel spreadsheet not completed.
No, there you go, mate. I am trying to find. I'm so sorry. Oh, No, he didn't. No, okay, I can't. I'm sorry, Richard. If you have finished it, then I'm sure it looks fantastic. But also, your Nerf gun looks incredible as well. So very, very well designed Nerf gun there. So who else we got?
So we got Matt, his Screamer Killer.
Matt Wall. Matt, you're doing really well at the moment, mate.
He has finished it.
Yeah, I've got it here. So Screamer Killer. In this kind of like, you've seen Matt's pictures before. This kind of yellow and green buggish style Tyranid.
Did you say he's a new to 40k?
He's brand new, like late last year.
I call BS on that.
No, late. He collected back at school.
That's annoying.
Collected back at school, but no, he's doing really well. You know,
That looks really good.
and it's his own colour scheme.
He looks really good. Like green and yellow.
Yeah, looking really, really good there, Matt. Who else we got?
Someone called Dave. Riptide and a Skyray.
I mean, in this picture here, they're unpainted. Current whip. That's all I can see. There's no picture, Dave.
Okay, I may have balls up here because I didn't put a picture up.
No proof.
Is it these two here which are off camera?
There's one of them. Your one's over there.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking incredible there, Dave.
I did paint Farsight.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. I can't accept it, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
No. Okay, well done, Dave. You've done a very good job. And I'm sure we got someone else.
PJ. He's only just started. He's a latecomer to it.
Okay.
But it's good that he started painting again.
Okay. Have you got an image of it there, or?
He's not put it up as finished,
Okay.
but he has put an image up of it in progress.
Okay, looking good.
I think him and Jay's having a little painting session.
Sorry, I'm doing this off the fly here. I'm trying to find your pictures, but
I didn't see this picture. Where's this picture?
yeah.
Show me.
I might put it in the chat then, maybe.
Oh, this is up. Yeah, this is up.
Oh, I might put it in WhatsApp chatting.
Yeah, we'll try and find that picture. We might get it up on the Instagram post as well of your progress or your finished piece as well. So well done there, P.
So before I say this,
you may have missed someone as well.
Oh, it's on the spreadsheet.
Got Jack. Looks like he's painted a Chaos Prince.
It's not on the spreadsheet.
Oh yes, yeah.
So
That
was a good print.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm really jealous.
Not on the spreadsheet.
Yeah,
But
not
we did give Aaron not Aaron. It was Aaron. We gave him benefit of doubt for.
Yeah, we did. So Jack, really, really nice piece. Wings looking really good. I can see where you've been like dry brushing them, I think. So it's giving you really nice texture. The beard on a prince is actually, I've never seen that before.
The beardy prince.
The bearded prince, yeah. Looking really good. Swords looking amazing. Really nice little loincloth there as well. And yet again, basing. I think people are basing really, really good, really, really good stuff these days. So,
And photographing your models as well.
yeah.
I'm quite jealous.
Really, really good photos.
Photographing is solid.
Yeah. So failures, it's me, James, Charlie, was it as well? No, he failed a stretch goal.
So it's just me and you.
I think
And
it was me.
Dave.
And Dave.
No
of course,
proof.
Yeah.
Oh, and P.
No, Charlie did the that war band for.
I think I missed
Necromunda.
Harrison off.
Harrison failed.
Oh yeah, no, Harrison
I missed
failed.
Harrison, sorry,
Yeah.
Harrison.
I can't really confidently say it was a failure. Harrison, it looks incredible.
It looks incredible, but it's not quite a Bengorian Lord conversion. 40 dire wars, vampire lord on foot.
Okay, right. I see. Yeah. However, what you have painted, which is a scorpion.
It's a special scorpion. Yeah. If I had my phone, I'd tell you what it was.
Yeah.
However, if he has gone into Super Saiyan paint mode,
Yeah.
as his target. So
I mean, yeah, you've had a real big target, but what you have painted here and what you put up is fantastic.
if you can put a picture up of him Super Saiyan,
yeah,
I'll allow it.
It was actually Super Saiyan Fire on his base. Yet again, more great basing as well. So actual failures then is me and you really,
And P.
and P, and Harrison really. You did say you failed. So
And Aaron, because he didn't update the spreadsheet.
Yeah,
well done, guys.
you should be
anyway.
ashamed.
Yeah,
of
no, I'm still really loving the pledge.
The pledges are going really well. Yeah. So, again, just to reiterate, thank you guys for your pledges. Your paint jobs are all amazing. Even if you didn't get to finish, it's really good that you're constantly pushing. I didn't get to finish. I have no excuse, really. I did try. I actually messed up my first model.
Trying is the first step to failure, isn't it?
I actually tried to dry brush it. So I'd lead belcher base plated it. Tried to dry brush it. Dry brush is way too stiff, and I just scratched the hell out of all the
Did
paint.
you?
Yeah. So
Just stipple brushed it
it
instead.
was really bad. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to paint with a stiffy. Sometimes,
Stiffy didn't work, did it?
so
It's just there. Weren't working properly. It wasn't flexible. Wasn't
No.
malleable. So
pro tip: don't paint with a stiffy.
Don't pay with a stiffy. But anyway, your paint jobs are really good.
Just make sure you.
What's your pledge?
Keep them coming. We'll get back to that. So keep them coming. Join our Facebook page. Go onto the link if you want to get involved and pledge what you want to pay next.
And we're going to start posting polls and get engaged with us. Right. So we're going to post questions on our Spotify accounts. I've done this before. No one's answered. It's just me that's answering the questions.
Please answer the questions,
Please
guys.
answer our questions.
We need the input.
We want that engagement. We want to get you involved with us.
This room
and also
stinks, and we need more space. So
and also, please, if you like our show, please rate our show.
Yeah.
It really helps.
Please share it. Just get it out there.
Everybody.
It takes a few seconds. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your Instagram. Doesn't matter. Just let everyone know what's going on. We really enjoy doing this. We really do. But we want to do it for a reason, and we want to get out there to more and more people. And the more people get out there too, the more great stuff we can give to you as well. So, but thank you anyway for everything you've done so far.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Now is pledge time. So get your pledges ready. Think about what you want to get to next. Anyone who failed, I assume, probably going to want to pick up where you left off. Anyone who passed, really good models. Let's go bigger. Matt, Screaming Killer looks really good. I know you got bigger models. I've seen them, so let's get in there.
I know you got a big one.
Matt's got a big one. There you go. So my pledge is very boring. It's the same pledge. So I've got a War Dog Brigand, which I'm going to actually finish without
your stiffy.
Without stiffy. Nice turgid. Turgid. Yeah, that's the word for soft in science, isn't it? Turgid. Flaccid. That's it.
A flaccid bush.
Yeah, so mine's going to be my War Dog Brigand with free hand as well. That's what
floppy
I did.
blood rush.
So that's my next pledge. James?
I don't know. I will update the spreadsheet based on what army I decide.
What are you kind of feeling at the moment? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically my issue is I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of playing Sisters. I love Sisters, but I've just locked myself into them for months and months. So after this, I might be starting Eldar.
Bit of a sister burnout.
Yeah, I think once I finish the tournament, I'm going to be playing something else, and I don't know what that is at the moment.
It happened in the game, doesn't it? You eventually just hit a wall, and
And I love them, and I will come back to them.
Yeah,
I just think I'm looking at my other armies, going, I just want to play them now.
Yeah, you've got a real big check to sign now because you passed your pledge.
Yeah,
so now you've got to do something way bigger now.
Last I was set in Going Thousand Suns, and now I've gone back to Tau.
More Tau. Okay.
Yeah.
What are we thinking of this?
So I've got
collection?
creatures, and I've got a Devilfish coming.
Okay. Which is
over the weekend.
Devilfish is a tank
and the squad. So I'll do them.
Okay, fantastic. So there's our pledges. We will put these on our Facebook page, and we're going to update it everywhere else. You guys who are already part of this, do it as well. Anyone who isn't, I've already told you where to go. So yeah, are we happy?
We're good.
Anything else we want to say from here?
Be careful when you order pizza.
Yeah.
Double check your orders.
Don't order £80 worth of pizza. Careful with your stray pizza ordering, guys. You got to be careful.
Stray pizza ordering. Don't paint with a stiffy.
Don't pay with a stiffy.
Something about turds.
And
a flaccid bush.
Yeah, long live the dead emperor. That's all. So that's it from me, Callum.
Me, James.
Me, Dave.
And happy hammering, guys.